Human Rights Watch thinks that this case is extremely important. It's important because the international community to date has been largely paralysed around the issue of the violence that Israel is committing in Gaza. We, as Human Rights Watch, have documented war crimes and other violations of international law, including collective punishment, the use of starvation as a method of war, and other apparent war crimes where Israel has attacked medical facilities and medical vehicles. It's an important moment, and it is not just any court, it's the apex court of the United Nations. And so we, as an organisation, welcome the opportunity for an independent court to hear allegations and for them to determine on an independent basis as to whether they have in fact been founded.
South Africa alleges that based on the evidence adduced before the court, based on the statements made by some public officials from Israel, amount to genocide. But there are a lot of people who say, on the Israeli side, who say that it's actually the reverse. This war was not started by Israel. It was actually started by Hamas on the other end. Could this be a case where Israel is really trying to defend itself?
The acts by Hamas, which were certainly war crimes and killed at least 1,200 Israelis, do not justify any crimes that Israel commits. It is possible, and the International Court of Justice has in fact found it in previous cases, in cases where there is an ongoing armed conflict, and in fact there may be legitimate rights of a warring party, as there is, to use armed force in the context of that conflict, that it is still possible for a party to commit genocide. And that is certainly what the court found in the Bosnia-Serbia case. And it also has imposed interim measures in the case of Ukraine and Russia. I think it's very important to note that neither the acts of Hamas, the war crimes committed by Hamas, or the fact that there is an ongoing armed conflict negate the possibility that genocide may in fact have been being committed by Israel.
I'm not a lawyer, but you're probably better off answering this question. What constitutes a genocide?
So genocide is there's a very, very high level of evidence that's required for the crime of genocide. And that is because genocide is not only about the acts that are committed, but is also about the intent. What South Africa is arguing in this case is that the evidence that they are presenting before the court suggests that both there is intent, and what they did was present a lengthy array of evidence, of statements by Israeli officials to demonstrate genocidal intent, as well as actions and statements by soldiers on the ground implementing those orders. And they also demonstrated that certain constituent acts of killing, of harm, and other such acts as displacement, attacking certain vital infrastructure for humanitarian purposes, in fact constitute, as they argue it, genocide.